Coming up today on This Is True Really News, Police Chief Richard Chandler said an officer involved in detaining somebody. I'm cutting the sentence short because that's the story. So
That's the whole story.
But if you like stories about officers detaining someone, particularly in Senatobia, Mississippi, then you're going to want to like, subscribe, and follow This Is True Really News. You're going to want to comment because it helps the algorithm, and we're looking to grow audience, And like, if you've got a funny story you think we should use, send it to TITR@netradio. Wake up over there.
TITR? What?
I said Tia. Hang on, I'm burping. TITR@netradio.network.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
I can't get you sick to here.
Jerry Martin had what he thought was a winning idea for a retail shop.
Oh, cool.
The drugstore, where people could buy cocaine, heroin, meth, and MDMA that had been tested for fentanyl. You don't want fentanyl. That's what kills a lot of people. According to Vice, and they are, of course, a reputable news agency on cable television, Vice reported that Martin's mobile shop in Vancouver, Canada, was open less than 24 hours, and he was arrested for drug trafficking.
You think? Hey, I'm doing a public service here.
I'm sorry, dude. Even in Canada,
where the police...
You do not have to flash that big a neon light.
No.
The store, which was housed in a mobile trailer that Martin parked next...
Sort of like a food truck.
Parked it next to a police van. First rule of criminality. Know your surroundings.
Where the police park. Yeah.
That just makes sense to me. Anyway, parked next to a police van. It featured bright yellow boards with prices listed for all his drugs. Martin wore a stabby-proof vest, which, if you ever watch the Luther TV series, are called stabby vests.
Ah.
Yeah, because, of course, there are no guns in the UK, so they would need a real Kevlar vest.
Except the real criminals do have guns.
Well, but the police do too, but you have to, ask for them in advance.
Yes. You have to ask for the criminal's permission to use it.
Yeah. Then you want the armed squad, whatever it's called, to come out and shoot them.
Mm-hmm. I think they call them the brute squad now.
You've basically got time.
Yeah, plenty.
So he wore his stabby vest as he sold the items from behind a plexiglass window. Apparently he knows his clientele. According to him, his plan included getting arrested so that he could challenge, quoting now, laws that prevent a safe supply and result in death by poisoning in Canada's Charter of Rights and Freedoms. All of this, yes, was a clever stunt because he wanted to be able to sell clean death-dealing narcotics, not the ones that have fentanyl in them. Shrewd, dude.
Wow.
Shrewd. The scary part is, it's Canada. It may work.
Speaking of shrewd, this from Brickbat.
Is this the taming of the shrew?
No, the shrewd is all over the place. Brickbat at reason.com is the source.
That give you like hallucinations?
Well, this guy I think was hallucinating.
The shrewds?
Shrooms, dink. Senatobia, Mississippi Police Chief Richard Chandler.
Dick.
Listen, Dick. Police Chief Richard Chandler said an officer involved in detaining a 10-year-old boy who urinated in public is no longer employed by the department.
I was trying to listen, but I haven't.
Some kid peed outside, 10-year-old. Cop grabbed him and hauled him in.
A 10-year-old?
Yes.
So time on their hands is what you're saying.
He also said that other officers involved in the incident will face discipline. Chandler did not specify whether the officer quit or was fired, what discipline the other officers might receive, or what their names were, so that the rest of us can get in on this.
Have been lost to time.
The boy urinated behind his mother's car while she was inside a lawyer's office. Okay.
There's a lawyer joke there somewhere.
Right. The
A
officers
piss poor one, but there's a lawyer joke there somewhere.
I am so glad you closed the door on that so I don't have to. The officers gave the boy a citation for child in need of services and took him to the police station. Rather than just say to the kid, where the heck is your mom? Can't you go in there to pee? It isn't yet clear if the citation has been rescinded, which is typical for police misconduct.
I'm now worried about my eldest grandson. My son thinks it's cute that when he has to go to the bathroom, if he's outside, he just right off the deck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's funny when you're 3.
Less funny when you're, 27 and on somebody else's deck.
The BBC reported in May that 3 burglars, those would be people who break in and steal things,
In threes.
broke into a shoe store in Peru. Huancayo, Peru.
Okay.
It was the middle of the night when they did this because, let's be honest, they weren't that stupid.
Yeah, you don't have to break in during the day. They're open.
So they broke into the shoe store, and guess what they did?
Stole shoes.
They did 200 shoes, which I don't know if that means 100 pair. I would hate to think they just took one of 200 shoes. One of each pair. That would be funnier.
The even number bode well for this heist,
Actually, for them, they were all right shoes.
Ooh. Because
surveillance video captured them using a tricycle to remove the box shoes. The shop owner estimates the value at more than $13,000, although the thieves may have trouble selling the shoes because they're all, well, for the right foot. Local police chief was confident that they would be caught.
I think they can sell them to one-legged dancers.
Oh, they could sell them to police because they always have flat feet.
Oh, that's right.
I've heard that somewhere. Wow, that dates us, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Look up Dick Tracy. You'll understand then.
Speaking of feet, a man and 2 women were having a leisurely stroll between Traig East and Traig Moor beaches in the Hebrides.
Of course they were. The old Hebrides or the new Hebrides?
I think these are the outer Hebrides and not the inner.
Oh, the ones that never quite got in. I get it.
Right. Traig East is one of Scotland's most picturesque beaches, by the way, and I've seen pictures of it. Holy cow, it looks inviting. The water is as blue as it was when we were in Mexico. It's that gorgeous. But I'll also bet you it's about 600 degrees colder than it was in Mexico. As you know, the Hebrides are an archipelago off the west coast of the Scottish mainland. As you also may know, an archipelago is a chain, cluster, or collection of islands.
Would Hawaii be an archipelago?
Probably. The aforementioned... Yes.
And gulags in the Soviet Union.
Right. Well, you have to pronounce it differently if you're going to bring people there to die. The aforementioned...
You should have a Russian accent.
I can't do that. The aforementioned 56-year-old man and 2 women were simply having...
How'd you get an SH sound in women is what I want to know.
Well, just I keep hoping to get through a sentence, and I'm not. The aforementioned 56-year-old man and 2 women were simply having a pleasant walk when a herd of cows, of course I heard of cows, pronounced coos in Scots.
I'm the one who won't let a joke go?
Now,
come on, Greg, really?
And a bull ran them over. The man was flown to the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital in Glasgow, but has since been discharged. The women were treated at St. Brendan's Hospital in Castle Bay and have also been discharged. The police spokeswoman said advice and assistance has been given to all parties.
One would think.
What are cows doing on the beach? Coos, I should say, because that's Scots for cow.
Really?
Coos, yeah. Yeah, that's Scots language for cows. Coo.
Is that why it's Glasgow?
Glasgow.
And Glasgow?
Right, Glasgow.
So it'd be Moscow?
Only if you're a Glaswegian.
No, I'm Dutch. Legion.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.